या कुन्देन्दु तुषारहार धवला या शुभ्रवस्त्रावृता या वीणावर दण्डमण्डितकरा या श्वेतपद्मासना या ब्रह्माच्युत शङ्कर प्रभृतिभिः देवैः सदा वन्दिता सा मां पातु सरस्वती भगवती निःशेषजाड्यापहा या कुन्देन्दु तुषारहार धवला या कुन्देन्दु तुषारहार धवला या शुभ्रवस्त्रावृता या वीणावर दण्डमण्डितकरा या श्वेतपद्मासना या ब्रह्माच्युत शङ्कर प्रभृतिभिः देवैः सदा वन्दिता सा मां पातु सरस्वती भगवती निःशेषजाड्यापहा या कुन्देन्दु तुषारहार धवला या कुन्देन्दु तुषारहार धवला या शुभ्रवस्त्रावृता या वीणावर दण्डमण्डितकरा या श्वेतपद्मासना या ब्रह्माच्युत शङ्कर प्रभृतिभिः देवैः सदा वन्दिता सा मां पातु सरस्वती भगवती निःशेषजाड्यापहा या कुन्देन्दु तुषारहार धवला
She is the one who is wearing the beautiful white jasmine flower garland. She is the one who always dresses in spotless clothes. She is the one holding a veena which she is playing. She is the one who sits on the white lotus throne. She is worshipped by gods such as Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. And please look after me, Goddess Saraswati. Please look after me, Goddess Saraswati, who eliminates ignorance.
Saraswati Pooja is done on the day of Vasant Panchami. Vasant meaning spring and Panchami meaning fifth. It is a festival that falls on the fifth day of the Hindu lunar month of Magha, January-February in the Western Gregorian calendar, marking the beginning of winter's end and the coming of spring. The day is dedicated to goddess Saraswati. In the Puranas, Saraswati is the goddess of speech, knowledge, art, music, and wisdom.
Maha Saraswati from the Mother by Sri Aurobindo. Maha Saraswati is the mother's power of work and her spirit of perfection and order. The youngest of the four, she is the most skillful in executive faculty and the nearest to physical nature. Maheswari lays down the large lines of the world forces. Mahakali drives their energy and impetus. Mahalakshmi discovers their rhythms and measures. But Mahasaraswati presides over the detail of organization and execution, relation of parts and effective combination of forces, and unfailing exactitude of result and fulfillment. The science and craft and technique of things are Mahasaraswati's province. Always she holds in her nature and can give to those whom she has chosen the intimate and precise knowledge, the subtlety and patience, the accuracy of intuitive mind, and conscious hand and discerning eye of the perfect worker. This power is the strong, the tireless, the careful and efficient builder, organizer, administrator, technician, artisan, and classifier of the worlds. When she takes up the transformation and new building of the nature, her action is laborious and minute, and often seems to our impatient slow and interminable, but it is persistent, integral, and flawless. For the will in her works is scrupulous, unsleeping, indefatigable, leaning over us, she notes and touches every little detail, finds out every minute defect, gap, twist, or incompleteness, considers and weighs accurately all that has been done and all that remains still to be done hereafter. Nothing is too small or apparently trivial for her attention. Nothing, however, impalpable or disguised or latent can escape her. Molding and remolding, she labors each part till it has attained its true form, is put in its exact place in the whole, and fulfills its precise purpose. Kind, smiling, close and helpful, not easily turned away or discouraged, insistent even after repeated failure. Her hand sustains our every step on condition that we are single in our will and straightforward and sincere. For a double mind, she will not tolerate, and her revealing irony is merciless to drama and histrionics and self deceit and pretense. A mother to our wants, a friend in our difficulties, a persistent and tranquil counselor and mentor, chasing away with her radiant smile the clouds of gloom and fretfulness and depression, reminding always of the ever present help, pointing to the eternal sunshine. She is firm, quiet, and persevering in the deep and continuous urge that drives us towards the integrality of the higher nature. All the work of the other powers leans on her for its completeness, for she assures the material foundation, elaborates the stuff of detail, and erects and revets the armor of the structure. That is the work of Mahasaraswati, to move between the higher conscious and the heart, and through them establish the rule of the truth in all details of the mind and life and physical nature. Om.
Saraswati in the Vedas, from The Secret of the Vedas by Sri Aurobindo. The third hymn of Madhuchandas is again a hymn of the Soma sacrifice. It is composed, like the second before it, in movements of 3 stanzas. The first addressed to the Ashwins, the second to Indra, the third to the Vishwadevas, the fourth to the goddess Saraswati. In this hymn also, we have in the closing movement, in the invocation to Saraswati, a passage of clear psychological significance, of a far greater clarity indeed than those that have already helped us to understand the secret thought of the Veda. In the last movement of the hymn, we have the clear and unmistakable indication of the truth consciousness as the goal of the sacrifice, the object of the Soma offering, the culmination of the work of the Ashwins, Indra, and the all, gods in the vitality and in the mind. For these are the 3 rigs devoted to Saraswati, the divine word, who represents the stream of inspiration that descends from the truth consciousness and thus limpidly runs their sense. May purifying Saraswati with all the plenitude of her forms of plenty, rich in substance by the thought, desire our sacrifice. She, the impeller to happy truths, the awakener in consciousness to right mentalizings, Saraswati upholds the sacrifice. Saraswati, by the perception, awakens in consciousness the great flood, the vast movement of the rhythm, and illumines entirely all the thoughts. This clear and luminous finale throws back its light on all that has preceded it. It shows the intimate connection between the Vedic sacrifice and a certain state of mind and soul, the interdependence between the offering of the clarified butter and the Soma juice and luminous thought, richness of psychological content, right states of the mind, and its awakening and impulsion to truth and light. It reveals the figure of Saraswati as the goddess of inspiration, of Shruti, and it establishes the connection between the Vedic rivers and psychological states of the mind. The passage is one of those luminous hints which the rishis have left scattered amidst the deliberate ambiguities of their symbolic style to guide us towards their secret. The symbolism of the Veda betrays itself with the greatest clearness in the figure of goddess Saraswati. In many of the other gods, the balance of the internal sense and the external figure is carefully preserved. The veil sometimes becomes transparent, or its corners are lifted, even for the ordinary hearer of the word. But it is never entirely removed. One may doubt whether Agni is anything more than the personification of the sacrificial fire or of the physical principle of light and heat in things, or Indra anything more than the god of the sky and the rain or of physical light, or Vayu anything more than the divinity in the wind and air, or at most of the physical life, breath. In the lesser gods, the naturalistic interpretation has less ground for confidence, for it is obvious that Varuna is not merely a Vedic Uranus or Neptune, but a god with great and important moral functions. Mitra and Bhaga have the same psychological aspect. The Ribhus who form things by the mind and build up immortality by works can with difficulty be crushed into the Procrustean measure of a naturalistic mythology. Still, by imputing a chaotic confusion of ideas to the poets of the Vedic hymns. The difficulty can be trampled upon, if not overcome. But Saraswati will submit to no such treatment. She is plainly and clearly the goddess of the word, the goddess of a divine inspiration. Saraswati is not only connected with other rivers, but with other goddesses who are plainly psychological symbols, and especially with Bharati and Ila. In the later Puranic forms of worship, Saraswati is the goddess of speech, of learning, and of poetry, and Bharati is one of her names. But in the Veda, Bharati and Saraswati are different deities. Bharati is also called Mahi, the large, great, or vast. The three, Ila, Mahi, or Bharati, and Saraswati, are associated together in a constant formula in those hymns of invocation in which the gods are called by Agni to the sacrifice. Ila Saraswati Mahi, Tisro Devid Mayobhava, Barhiha Siddhantva Asrida. May Ila, Saraswati, and Mahi, three goddesses who give birth to the bliss, take their place on the sacrificial seat, they who stumble not, or who come not to hurt, or do not hurt. The epithet means, I think, they in whom there is no false movement with its evil consequences, duritam, no stumbling into pitfalls of sin and error.
Sri Aurobindo's poem Envoy. Pale poems, weak and few, who vainly use your wings towards the unattainable spheres, offspring of the divine Hellenic muse, poor maimed children born of 6 disastrous years. Not as your mother's is your wounded grace, since not to me with equal love returned the hope which drew me to that serene face, wherein no unreposeful light of effort burned. Depart and live for seasons many or few, if live you may, but stay not here to pain my heart with hopeless passion and renew visions of beauty that my lips shall ne'er attain. For in Sicilian olive groves no more, or seldom, must my footprints now be seen, nor tread Athenian lanes, nor yet explore Parnassus, or thy voiceful shores, O Hippocrene. Me from her lotus heaven, Saraswati, has called to regions of eternal snow, and Ganges facing to the southern sea. Ganges, upon whose shores the flowers of Eden blow.
Divine Shakti, the conscious power. The faith in the Divine Shakti must be always at the back of our strength, and when she becomes manifest, it must be or grow implicit and complete. There is nothing that is impossible to her, who is the conscious power and universal goddess, all creative from eternity and armed with the Spirit's omnipotence. All knowledge, all strength, all triumph and victory, all skill and works are in her hands, and they are full of the treasures of the Spirit and of all perfections and siddhis. She is Maheshwari, goddess of the supreme knowledge, and brings to us her vision for all kinds and widenesses of truth, her rectitude of the spiritual will, the calm and passion of her supramental largeness, her felicity of illumination. She is Mahakali, goddess of the supreme strength, and with her are all mights and spiritual force, and severest austerity of tapas, and swiftness to the battle and the victory and the laughter, the atahasya that makes light of defeat and death and the powers of the ignorance. She is Mahalakshmi, the goddess of the supreme love and delight, and her gifts are the spirit's grace and the charm and beauty of the Ananda and protection and every divine human blessing. She is Mahasaraswati, the goddess of divine skill and of the works of the spirit, and hers in the yoga that is skill in works. Yoga Karmasu Kausalam, and the utilities of divine knowledge and the self-application of the spirit to life and the happiness of its harmonies. And in all her powers and forms, she carries with her the supreme sense of the masteries of the eternal Ishwari, a rapid and divine capacity for all kinds of action that may be demanded from the instrument. Oneness, a participating sympathy, a free identity with all energies in all beings, and therefore a spontaneous and fruitful harmony with all the divine will in the universe. The intimate feeling of her presence and her powers, and the satisfied assent of all our being to her workings in and around it, is the last perfection of faith in the Shakti. Sri Aurobindo, from the book Synthesis of Yoga, CWSA, Volume 24, pages 780 to 781.
Questions and answers from CWSA, Volume 35, 32, and 30. Question. Since all creation is her work, can it be taken that it is the personalities of the mother who, behind the veil, prepare the conditions for the descent of the avatar or vibhuti? Answer. If you mean the divine personalities of the mother, the answer is yes. It may even be said that each of the vibhuti draws his energies from the four. From one of them, predominantly in most cases, as Napoleon from Mahakali, Rama from Mahalakshmi, Augustus Caesar from Mahasaraswati. Question. Is it mostly the Mahasaraswati aspect of the mother that works in our sadhana here? Answer. At present, since the sadhana came down to the physical consciousness, or rather is a combination of Maheshwari, Mahasaraswati forces. Question. Yesterday night, I saw Maheshwari above my head, Mahakali in my vital being, and Mahalakshmi seated in my mind and heart. Each one radiated a different light from her body. Then I saw a few subtle powers descending into my being. Answer. Maheshwari's natural place is in the higher consciousness above mind, for she is the wideness and largeness and wisdom of the divine. Mahakali acts most naturally through the higher vital, which is the instrument of force and power. Mahalakshmi acts through the heart. In your case, at present, she is acting through the mind also, though there is less usual. Ordinarily, it is Mahasaraswati. Question. Today, immersed in deep meditation, I saw a beautiful chakra opening above my head, and on that chakra, 2 lotuses were blooming, and on those lotuses, you and the mother were sitting. After that, I invoked the mother in my entire being, and then I saw Mahasaraswati descending. Why did Mahasaraswati descend at my call, and why did the chakra open above my head? Answer. It is Mahasaraswati's work to use the power and light and experiences that come in from above so as to change in detail the whole outer nature. Question. What is the wisdom that brought deeper grief in the human brain? The perfect sapta in the ventricles of the heart and such other details of structure. Is it the work of Mahasaraswati? Answer. Yes. All perfection in intricacy of detail shows the touch of Mahasaraswati. Question. Sitting in meditation today, I saw a river flowing from the higher consciousness level to the heart level in me. On this river was a golden boat, and seated in it was Mahasaraswati, traveling down the river in golden and white light. What is the meaning of this? Answer. That is the work of Mahasaraswati to move between the higher consciousness and the heart, and through them establish the rule of truth in all details of the mind and life and physical nature. Lakshmi is usually golden, not white. Saraswati is white. Om Ma.
And now for the final music, Om Shri Ma.
नमो जगत्प्रतिष्ठायै कृत्यै नमो नमः या देवी सर्वभूतेषु विष्णुमायेति शब्दिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः या देवी सर्वभूतेषु चेतनेत्यभिधीयते नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः नमोस्तस्यै नमस्तस्यै नमस्तस्यै नमो नमः नमोस्तस्यै नमस्तस्यै नमस्तस्यै नमो नमः या देवी सर्वभूतेषु बुद्धिरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः या देवी सर्वभूतेषु छायारूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः या देवी सर्वभूतेषु शक्तिरूपेण संस्थिता Namastasयै, namastasyai, namastasyai, namo namaha. Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Matrurupena Samstita. Namastasyai, 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 namo namaha.
Flame pure, I see a time, a mighty face appeared, and lips moved by immortal words.